So far, the lessons in this course have explored forms of meditation in which you concentrate or focus your attention on an alambana, a suitable object of meditation. Concentration is the approach prescribed by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras, and it's one of the 4 basic categories of meditation we discussed in the introduction to this course, along with observation, contemplation, and devotion. The lessons in this chapter will address the second of the 4 categories, observation. This approach to meditation is completely different from all that's been discussed so far. The preceding lessons emphasize the importance of controlling your mind and focusing your attention. But now we'll consider forms of meditation in which you simply observe the activities of your mind, instead of trying to control them. The idea of observing your thoughts may seem strange at first, but consider this. You have a mind. It belongs to you. So we can ask, who is it to whom the mind belongs? Who is it that knows what your mind is thinking right now? Who directs or oversees its activities? These same questions were contemplated by the ancient rishis. In the very first verse of the Kena Upanishad, a rishi asks, Kena ishitam, desired by whom? And Kena preshitam, impelled by whom? Does the manaha, mind, patati, move about, going from one thought to another? In other words, who is it that watches over the mind, like a boss in a business place who watches over his workers? In the very next verse, the rishi answers his own question somewhat cryptically by describing the so-called boss as manasaha manaha, the mind of the mind. Then, a bit later, he makes it clear, saying, Yan na manute, it can't be grasped, manasa, by the mind. But on the other hand, ahur, they say that it is yena, that because of which manomatam, the mind can think, the mind can engage in its activities. Here, the rishi points to a reality that lies beyond the mind. And that reality, as we discussed before, is your own consciousness, the awareness that endows your mind with the ability to think, the awareness that's your own true inner nature, Atma. In this way, the rishi undertakes a fundamental spiritual inquiry, the inquiry into who am I? A question that lies at the very heart of Vedanta's teachings. To explore the question, who am I, Vedanta uses a simple but powerful method. It begins by dividing all that exists into 2 categories, knower and known. No third category is possible. The knower is you, as a conscious, awareful being. And the known is everything else, everything that's known to you. The world is known to you. People, houses, cars, and trees are known to you. Even your own body and mind, your thoughts, emotions, and sensations are known to you. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna shows Arjuna how to distinguish the conscious knower from the world that's known. Kaunteya, O Arjuna, idam shariram, this body of yours, kshetram, belongs to your field of experience. It's part of the world you observe. Ityabhidhiyate. Thus it is taught. On the other hand, etadyo veti, the one who knows that field of experience, tam prahuhu, is called kshetrajna, the knower of the field of experience, the observer of the world. Iti tadviraha, thus say the wise. The meditation techniques taught in this chapter are all based on this fundamental division, the division between seer and seen, between observer and observed, between knower and known. This approach to meditation relies on the fact that you, as a conscious, awareful being, are the observer or knower of everything you experience. And your experiences include everything perceived by your senses of sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Your experiences include all your thoughts, ideas, and memories. Your experiences include all your emotions, your hopes and fears, and your constantly changing moods. All these experiences take place in your mind, and you, as a conscious, awareful being, are the knower or observer of all these mental activities, or vrittis. In the teachings of Vedanta, the word sakshi is used to describe you as the awareful witness or conscious observer of all your vrittis, all the thoughts, emotions, and sensations that arise in your mind. Right now, your mind is engaged in the act of watching this video. Your attention is mostly focused on the screen in front of you. But suppose you were to shift your attention away from the screen and focus instead on the activities of your mind, your vrittis. For example, what doubts or questions have popped up in your mind so far? Do you feel happy or sad? Are there any lingering emotions left over from situations earlier in the day? Does your back hurt? Are you hungry? Right now, various thoughts, emotions, and sensations like these are present in your mind while you're watching this video. By shifting your attention away from the screen and focusing instead on the contents of your mind, you can assume the status of being the sakshi, the awareful witness of your mind's activities. This state of being an awareful witness or conscious observer is called sakshi bhava. The bhava, the state of being a sakshi, witness. The term sakshi bhava is used to describe a particular meditation practice in which you passively observe the activities of your mind. In this practice, you witness your thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they appear on the so-called landscape of your mind, without getting involved or entangled with them in any way. Instead of thinking your thoughts, you completely detach yourself from your mind and observe your thoughts as if watching them from a distance. With this perspective, you become a detached observer or disinterested witness who passively observes the constantly changing flow of vrittis in your mind without responding to them in any way whatsoever. To practice Sakshi Bhava, you have to learn how to avoid getting involved with or affected by the mental activities you observe. For example, you have to avoid making mental comments about the thoughts you observe, or making judgments about emotions or sensations that arise. In this practice, you have to regard each thought, emotion, and sensation as being neither good nor bad, neither desirable nor undesirable. Every vritti is simply a mental event to be silently observed. Sakshi Bhava is a powerful and popular meditation technique. It's better known today in its Buddhist form, called Vipassana. It's also known as mindfulness meditation. Vipassana is a word in the Pali language that's derived from the Sanskrit vipashyana, which means seeing clearly. For this reason, Vipassana is sometimes called insight meditation. There are some differences between the Vedantic practice of Sakshi Bhava and the Buddhist practice of Vipassana, but those differences are mostly scholarly in nature and not too important for meditators. To practice Sakshi Bhava, you have to develop the skill of being a passive witness or detached observer of all the thoughts, emotions, and sensations that arise in your mind. This skill can be developed in stages. At first, it's helpful to limit the practice of observation to sensations alone. This step is helpful because it's much more difficult to remain totally detached from thoughts and emotions. Then later, after learning how to passively witness your sensations, you'll be ready to learn how to observe your thoughts and emotions while remaining completely detached from them. In the following exercise, we'll practice Sakshi Bhava by observing sensations that arise from your body. For this exercise, it's best if you sit in a place that's suitable for meditation. You can listen to this exercise using a laptop computer, a tablet, or a mobile device like your phone. This exercise is also available as a podcast or download from our website, using the links in the video description below. I hope you are now seated comfortably in a suitable place. This exercise will take 10 to 15 minutes. First, sit with a proper posture, as we discussed before. Close your eyes gently and take a deep breath to get settled down. Now, make a sankalpa to affirm your intention and commitment to meditate. Acknowledge the fact that you have many unfulfilled responsibilities and issues that need to be addressed. Since you don't want to be distracted by those things during this meditation, you can give yourself permission to set all those concerns aside, just for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Next, we'll perform an exercise that's sometimes called a body scan, in which you observe sensations that arise from each part of your body. This practice is a bit similar to the progressive relaxation exercise we've performed many times. Start by turning your attention to your feet and becoming aware of sensations there. Notice the sense of pressure as your feet press down. Notice the touch of your clothing and feelings of warmth or coolness. Next, turn your attention to your ankles and calves. Notice sensations of pressure, the touch of your clothing, warmth or coolness. Next, turn to your knees and thighs. Notice the weight of your hands or arms where they rest, and any other sensations. Next, turn to the trunk of your body. Feel the weight of your body pressing down. Feel the firmness of the seat beneath you. Next, turn to your lower back and stomach together. Become aware of sensations there. Now, turn to your upper back and chest. Become aware of sensations. Now, become aware of sensations in your right arm, starting with the upper part, then your forearm, wrist, hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Now, become aware of sensations in your left arm, the upper part, forearm, wrist, hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Finally, become aware of sensations in your shoulders, your face, and your head. Now, in the next part of this exercise, observe the sensations that arise anywhere in your body. Give those sensations your full attention. Observe them closely, but without making any mental comments about them. Don't evaluate them in any way. Just observe them silently, passively. Continue to observe the sensations that arise in your body. Observe them closely, but without making any mental comments about them. Just observe, silently, passively. For one more minute, continue to observe sensations that arise in your body. Observe them closely, but without making any mental comments. Just observe silently, passively. Now, there's another way to perform this practice that's especially helpful for some people. The technique is to name or label each sensation that arises in your body. For example, when you observe the weight of your hands resting in your lap, label it mentally. Weight, weight. When you observe the pressure of your feet pressing down, label it pressure, pressure. If you feel an itch on your nose, label it itch, itch. Try this now. Continue to observe the sensations that arise in your body. Observe them closely, naming or labeling each sensation. For one more minute before we conclude, continue to observe the sensations that arise in your body. Observe them closely, naming or labeling each sensation. Now, as we conclude this exercise, stop observing your sensations and just listen to these closing remarks. You can practice this technique whenever you want, listening to this exercise again or without it. If you practice it independently, you can choose to use the labeling technique or not, whichever works better for you. In the next lesson, we'll practice Sakshi Bhava by observing the sensations associated with breathing.